Agriculture in Zimbabwe provides employment. It provides between 60 and 70% of our employees. Agriculture accounts again for equally the same percentage in terms of our raw materials which we use in our industries. It contributes the biggest chunk of our foreign currency. The much needed US dollar, the rand, which is used in this region, comes from agriculture. Besides provision of a stable nutrition, agriculture contributes to the GDP of this economy, especially here where we are in Matabeleland South. Every village, every villager is an animal, whether small or large livestock. And that is the wealth of this area.
Actually, it serves 73,000 rural livestock owners. 73,000. That's enormous. But then making medicines and vaccinations available means you already have an issue somehow. Vaccines not, but medication, yes. But also it is very important to inform people, and I think what you have set up with FAO together with the ministry is applaudable, because it is also information and communication technology. Being informed if there's an outbreak of a disease is equally important, because you can protect your livestock from it. And then capacitating everybody, whether it's farmers, whether it's veterinaries, whether it's in the government, I think is also very important. Now, this little SAFE program, which is so successful, is not something standalone. It is part of the Zimbabwean Agricultural Growth Program, where we have actually injected more than 40 million euros. And that is beef, goat, pork, poultry and dairy. And this program for 40 million is part of an even bigger one, which is what we call the Team Europe Initiative on Greener and Climate Smart Agriculture, where for the coming years we will support agriculture in Zimbabwe with over 200 million euros. And the Honorable Minister made an allusion to a second one, where we also have over 200 million euros, and that's on gender equality and women empowerment. And actually, these two, as you know very well, are very closely linked, because many women work in the rural areas. Often they are the driving force, whether it's on livestock, on crop, on other value chain. They are a pillar, and therefore these two programs in reality will go very closely together, and I'm sure you agree with me, Minister. So for me it's a real joy to be here, because that is maybe a small part, but it's an important contribution to that backbone of the economy, the agriculture, and more precisely here, livestock. We visited actually the center, and I haven't seen it before, but when I see it now I understand what transformation the center went through. Now there's a cold chain, it's properly secured, there's information technology present, so I think that will help, and that will help the livestock, the animal health. But actually it's much more than that. It's improved productivity, it's safer food systems for consumers, and we are talking about competitiveness and securing market access. Now, the livestock value chain was probably one of the most important ones quite a while ago, but it collapsed at some point, and it collapsed essentially because of diseases. It was mouth, what is it called? Foot and mouth disease. So it collapsed. And the question is now, can this value chain get back? But obviously, there are lots of challenges. There are no sanctions, if I may say so, because somebody might mention that. The EU doesn't have sanctions. On the contrary, we have a free trade agreement. Any meat can be duty and quota free exported to the EU. So we have all the doors open for the meat to come. But still it's not evident, because I think you, Honourable Minister, mentioned it. There's climate change, there are diseases, access is not always straightforward. So I think working on that, making this value chain an economically efficient value chain, I think that's the object which unites us all here today.
Informed that this project was mainly funded by the European Union and FAO, and to the tune of 4 million euros. It is being implemented in 30 districts across Zimbabwe. We as a province are grateful for having at least 5 of our districts benefiting from this project. Initially, I was told there was 1, but during briefing period, I was told there were 5 districts that are benefiting. Really, I think Liver Chinese are understood. This is a very important project for us as a nation. We are also excited that during the briefing period, we informed that the EU is looking at funding, continuous funding of our women. The gender component is very exciting to me, because I'm a woman. So we are very grateful. We are looking forward to empowerment of women, including the production of livestock in this program, especially the small livestock. Because women are very powerful in that particular area. We are also excited that we are a region that is very hot, that has got big plantations of citrus fruits that are being cultivated by large-scale farmers. We look forward as a province to seeing this cascade to our villages, according to the plan that was put by the Minister of Environment, Climate Change, and I can't remember the other name, the last part, and Wildlife. He had promised us in the last 5 years that he was going to put citrus plantations and any other fruit plantations in the villages. We are looking forward to that support from the EU to make sure that that project comes to fruition.
The project supported the upgrade of the anchor animal health centers with installation of the solar power units, security fencing, anti-blogger bars, screens, refrigerators, computers, drug cabinets, security safe and Wi-Fi routers. Anchor animal health management centers that were upgraded are providing animal health services to over 73,000 livestock owners. We are glad to inform you that we are also observing a spontaneous adoption of the PPP model as the private sector is expanding their operations to the other areas not covered by the said project. To date, we have an additional 9 HMCs with private sector players in partnership with the DVS, which have moved into upgrade and provide services to communities using their own investments. These initiatives have been delivered in a layered and coherent manner to strengthen both national and local capacities for self-reliance to respond to animal diseases, for improved productivity and market access. Crowding in of the private sector players was facilitated at the Anchor Animal Health Manama Centres through the joint venture agreements with DVS. These interventions have been layered with support in the review of SOPs, training of frontline extension staff, and setting up of an electronic livestock information management system, among others. At national level, the same project supported DVS in the formulation of the National Animal Pest and Disease Surveillance Plan with the following objectives. First, to determine the presence or absence or distribution of the pest infestation and disease infection. Second, to detect as early as possible incursions of exotic and re-emerging diseases. And finally, to improve compliance with international animal health obligations and requirements.